It says I'm live. Well, good evening, folks, and welcome into the David Paisano Show. Got my blue shirt on tonight, matches my blue uh, sheets back there, so it's going to be a good night. I'm on my second of these. I don't even know who makes this beer. Genesee? Genesee. Genesee Ice. It was the replacement 99-cent beer tonight at the Dillon store. They raised the price of the Natty Ice all the way up to $1.99. But they marked this one down to 99 cents. It's been brewed for generations. Yeah, I don't even know who makes this beer. It's not the worst beer I've ever had. It's not the greatest beer I've ever had. It's kind of like a natty light, honestly. It's a little, it doesn't have as much bite to it. It's actually kind of, I don't know, doesn't really have a whole lot of flavor. But anyway, cheers. Welcome in. I don't know who makes it. It's Genesee Ice. The 99-cent 25 ounce. It doesn't even say it's 25 ounces. Well, I'm just wasting time here to see if we can get a few people in the room before I really get into the meat of the bones. Trust of Living's here, Lily Bell, Sparkplug Sparky. Got a few people rolling in. Man, there was some big news last night. Huge, huge news last night. And it took them a while to get to the news, but there was some big news. And for those who missed it, apparently Ben Napple, the person who hosts the Ben Buree, the new Finbury host, not in Hyde Park, but in the Pecos Wilderness area. I think this was Illinois ghost hunting grounds. I also think this was the place that Sasha and Jason might have been looking for the treasure some. It's amazing that neither Illinois Ghost or Sasha and Jason have commented on how you take like 50 highway to get into the Pecos National Forest. And yeah, I mean, I honestly think there was a few people that were seriously looking for the treasure there. I mean, Shiloh lives on the Vivace Mesa. Well, I mean, there's a house there. I don't know if he lives there. He might be living in the old man's house now. But anyway, so there's property that the old family owns. And I went through the whole history of the old family and how they used to own this creek cabin area. The old family built that cabin, if you will, and then it got turned into like a place where people could go, and then it became a retreat, and then it became a I don't know, like a boys' school or something. And I remember when this was all being trolled out back in about 2015, 16, 17. And I think that's when Sasha and Jason and Illinois Ghost all got so interested in that area because they found the history of this Brush Creek Ranch. And the Brush Creek Ranch had been, a boys' school or girls' school or whatever, a learning place. And had been part of the. And so I think there was a group of people that were really focused in on the Pecos uh, area. And I don't know. I'm just saying. I think it's interesting that none of those people actually have went to a Ben Buree, but now they may have a reason to go to Ben Buree because last night it was announced that if you go to Ben Buree and you are the successful solver of the Impossible Poem 2.0, the new Ben Napple creation, that you will have a chance to win, drum roll please, chest number 72 of the Venetti's produced chest. And this chest was also in the movie Gold and Greed. Somebody apparently was carrying this replica chest through some scene, and this chest has actually been on TV. It was on Golden Group, and it's now after the almost 1 hour unboxing. It took Ben and Ashley almost 45 minutes to find a DeWalt drill driver at a 25 Torx bit in order to open up a crate that the box was in. But if you want to watch that whole entire show, you can. But once it got opened up, it was basically one of these replica chests that was created. And in case you missed the math on this, folks, there was 200, I think, limited production chests. And I think the selling price was either $20,000 or something like that. And if you do the math on 100 of these chests at 20,000 each, the guy cleared gross $2 million. So who was the real winner in the chase? I think it was the guy that made the replica chests. And I think I don't know how many actual people bought these replica chests, and I don't know where they're at, and who has them, and that kind of thing. There was rumors about who had bought these replica chests and who had not. I did not buy a replica chest. I decided that was an extravagance I wasn't really willing to spend my money on. But if this was the replica chest that Forrest Fenn had gotten, and the provenance of this chest, by the way, has not been disclosed. Ben and Bashley, or Bashfully, I don't know what her name is. Anyway, they did not disclose how they came into the possession of this chest, other than it was given to them to be a prize for the Finbury 2026, which will be held on Forrest Fenn's birthday, the 26th. No, I'm just kidding. Of August. Or is it September? So anyway, in August, you can. I wasn't planning on going to New Mexico in August, but if I have a chance to win a $20,000 replica chest, then I might just go on out there to see if I can solve Ben's riddle, Ben's poem. You know, the treasure hunt. I mean, the bar is really pretty low right now. Copper Dan, used to host these really short treasure hunts, that didn't last very long and they were solved real easily. And then, unfortunately, the people that put on the Seeker Summit had a treasure hunt last 12 minutes. 12-minute treasure hunt. And I'm so glad I didn't drive all the way out to Tucson, Arizona to be disappointed and witness a 12-minute treasure hunt, which I went through all of that last week on how I thought that was BS. And, that he must have known ahead of time in order to take these pictures for that kind of thing. But back to the focus of tonight's information. I just can't believe, I can't hardly believe that Ben Baree has gotten a hold of a prize that is significantly greater than any other prize that has been given out as part of a weekend treasure hunt. This will probably set the record for the largest amount, value-wise, of a treasure that will be solved within a 1 or 2 day period. And I don't know if there's any guarantee. Here is the question for treasure warriors. Let's say that nobody solves your treasure hunt. Are you going to have a fallback plan where that if anybody attends that Ben Baree, that their name will be put in a hat? This is why it labeled this, hold on to your hat. Anyway, if your puzzle is so difficult, like X marks the spot's pretend treasure hunt, we all remember back to the X marks the spot pretend treasure hunt, where the clues were so obscure and that the solving path was so acidine that there was no way anybody was ever going to solve that Brandon Morgan treasure hunt. There was just no way. That was just a bullshit thing to get people to listen to some videos, or watch some videos and listen to some audio podcasts. X marks the spot excrement. I'm just going to say the X, and X marks the spot. Treasure hunt stands for excrement. For those who have a limited vocabulary, you can look that up later. But it borders on the line of being like croptolite that's, or no, coprolite, excuse me. It's coprolite that hasn't had its appropriate aging, if you will, excrement. Anyway, so where I'm going with this is that, if this is not solved and nobody finds the treasure, will there be a drawing of everybody that enters who attended in order to solve your puzzle, that they will indeed have a chance to win this? Or are you just going to have an excrement marks the spot type of treasure poem, an impossible poem, if you will, that nobody will be able to solve, and thereby you'll just say, oh, well, I decided to keep the chest. Your history does not show me that you would be the kind of person, although you did have some involvement with the excrement marks the spot promotion. So do we have historical basis here of, you're not going to give the treasure away anyway, and this was just a prop? Was this just a prop on a show to get more people to watch your show, and you have no intention of giving this treasure chest away? Or is it actually going to be given away? I think you need to provide some more information for those who might want to attend this event and solve that puzzle to find that chest, to make sure that it is actually going to be given away, because I'm one of these people that can be fooled once, but try to fool me twice, and I will try to put guardrails up so that you can't have a treasure hunt that really wasn't a treasure hunt. Now, on the other side of this, let's just look at this whole idea of giving away stuff to people as door prizes, as participation events, and coming to a conference. Okay, so the first one of these people that did this conference was the original Fenn Chest. And Desert File, along with a couple of other people, organized this event up in Chama. And in Chama, I don't know, maybe they had 20 people attend the first Seekers Summit of the Forrest Fenn Treasure, hosted by Desert File. Very first one. We've come a long way, baby. From that to 1,000 people, give or take a few more, attending an event in Tucson, Arizona. We've come a long way, baby. And the Fenn Shrine was started back at the original Fenn Chest, the treasure hunter meetup, if you will. And in the Fenn Shrine, it grew over time, and after a few, it got a little bit larger. But we now have a pre-sale opportunity for the Treasure Con. What used to be called what did they used to call that? A poker tournament? What was that thing that K Crow originally had? It was like a Forrest Fenn get together in Las Vegas, right? Well, now I saw the pre-sale on this, and it's now $99 to attend a Treasure Con in Las Vegas. $99 to attend a Treasure Con. That looks like what the pre-sale is. Tickets as low as $99. I mean, what the fuck? Did you get Ticketmaster involved in this? I just wonder what the fees on top of the fees. Here is a convenience fee on top of the convenience fee for your ticket to Treasure Con that's now going to cost you $200 a head to go do what? But I'm trying to get to somewhere here. I must offer up my sincere congratulations to the people who host Treasure Con. They give away zero. They give away nothing. They give you no prizes. They give you no attendance beads. They give you a poker chip that it costs $5 to print up as your memento. Treasure Seekers gave you an opportunity to find a treasure worth $10,000. And it only cost you how much? How much? What was it? $25 or $15 or $10 or $20? and you had a 1 in 1,000 chance of having the information given to you ahead of time to solve that puzzle. And now, Ben Marie, based upon the huge amount of people that attended the last Fenbury at Pecos, there must have been about 80 of us over the 2-day period. You now have, if you have the same 80 people show up as did last time, a 1 in 80 chance of solving a puzzle for a $20,000 prize. Isn't that amazing? Now, I would imagine that the head count at Benbury 2026 is going to be significantly higher now that there is some stakes in the game, if you will. There's now something to win. There's something of value. But I think it's sad that you have to put out a prize of such size in order to get people to attend. I attended out of my own volition last year. I wanted to go look at the cenotaph of Forrest Fenn, and I also wanted to drop a book off at Shiloh's place, and one at the bookstore for my dear friend. Oh, how are you doing, my dear friend at the bookstore who paid so much money and can't account for where the charity money went? How are we doing these days? Anyway, is the bookstore still thriving? I don't. But anyway, did you read my book? I never got any feedback as to whether or not the Collected Works bookstore even actually looked at the book that I threw out in front of their entrance on my way through town last time at Ben Marie. Now, I do know that Shiloh indeed did get my book because they talked about it at Fenbury when Shiloh showed up, and he was asking Ben if he recognized this pickup this I was driving, because I pulled into the driveway and dropped off a book. Mystery solved. Anyway, but my point of all of that conversation was that in order to attend TreasureCon, you have to spend $99 on a ticket that gives you no door prizes. Ben Marie is free. Ben isn't charging you anything. And you have a chance to win a $20,000 prize. I'm not here promoting Ben Marie. I'm just showing you the difference between this and this. Us people who just get together for the joy of the treasure hunt, the people that to get together to reminisce about the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt and how we act, versus all of these new treasure hunt creators, all of these people who are from the Forrest Fenn past who are trying to still make money off of it. I think there's a great disconnect between the approach of the people that attend to Benbury and the people that go to TreasureCon, right? But for all of you who don't have a prize, you can still get a 3D bronze miniature chest. And now, at this point in time, we are so far into the show, I will do a top 5 officially and get regrouped. Trust of Living is number 1. Lou Lee is number 2. Spark Plug Sparky's number 3. The Whistling Bunghole fills in the 4th spot. Whistling says, if Ben can't use a power drill, how can he cleverly trick a skilled treasure hunter? Oh, that's a good point. I will see if I can come up with an answer. Tressa says Vanity sold chests starting at 7K and over 10K, but I didn't see any much higher than 10K. Okay, so maybe that's only a $10,000 prize. I stand corrected. Okay, and Whistling Bunghole actually solved the impossible poem, but didn't have time to go retrieve it. And Zozo and et al. Comes in at the 5 spot. So we officially have a top 5. Imagine being the true solver, not yet receiving the chest, and there's a replica chest. It's like selling a knockoff on eBay. What happens to the price of the real chest? Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes have envy. I envy the people that spent $7,000 to $10,000 and got a replica chest, and they can flaunt it all over the internet as if they had the real chest. But then, I look at it this way. Um, it's just a replica. I mean, it's not the real thing. Uh, but to the point of being the true solver and not yet receiving the chest, well, I don't know. At this point, a true solver receiving the real chest seems like a pretty long stretch to me. I mean, it's been what, 6 years since the announcement? We're going on the sixth year. It's not actually been 6 years of time, but we're in the sixth year. I mean, there is this whole idea of a true solver getting the chest, getting the contents of the chest. I don't. I mean, I think at some point we have to get past the idea that there's going to be some real solver, true solver. The bunghole retracted. Lily Bell is pointing out, has anyone won anything yet on the other big treasure hunts? No. The 5 boxes hidden by John Collins Black, no reported solvers. The one treasure hidden by Justin Poser, Pose for me. I don't know. Anyway, nothing announced as to anybody. And the last one, the Chad Turd. I'm going to now call this the Chad Turd treasure hunt because I truly believe this guy was going to hide this thing at the lake right there in Texas that everybody was looking at. But then he realized that his treasure hunt was too easy, and he's just changed he's changed his location. And frankly, Chad Bird, I will pay for a polygraph. You heard it here first. I will pay for a polygraph where you sit down and are asked questions about your treasure and whether it is real and whether it is hidden and how much it's actually worth. And I don't think you can pass that test. You've been you've been so all over the map when it comes to the clues you've given out. At very first, it looked like you gave out clues to narrow it down to location, and now you're saying that those weren't really clues. Those weren't really clues. And you've said so many things. You've made so many public appearances that your treasure hunt has now become just lost to a good number of people because we don't have the energy to keep up with your activity. I mean, you're a high level person. You're a high activity person. You do a lot of shows. You do a lot of appearances, and you do a lot for that community that has given you 45,000 subscribers. Uh, does Mr. Beast have real stuff that you can win? Yes. How many subscribers does he have? And so it's just a matter of scale, I guess. Are you trying to be the new Mr. Beast as when it comes to treasure hunt community? I don't know. But good luck to you. Uh, Focus on what you want. I'm just not believing your treasure hunt's real right now. I had scheduled time to go to Texas to look at the Bigfoot Lake. Was pretty sure you'd given up enough information in your poem, your original poem, to solve that. And I know there was people there already looking at not at Pat May's lake, but at the smaller lake that looks like Bigfoot. That's right there next to the city that has a dam that's named Pat May's. So I think you had your treasure hunt, and I think your treasure hunt's over. Honestly, I think your treasure hunt's over because I think you've now moved the prize. I think if you ever did put it out there, it was in that spot, which you then ruled out when you got your feathers stroked out, and when you went to Las Vegas and got your feathers all stroked up, and you felt good about yourself, you decide to become Justin Posey's buddy and eliminate a county and he's going to eliminate states, and you're all going to have fun eliminating places that the treasure's not at. Well, I've already eliminated most of the other places the treasure's not at because I honestly don't think that the volume of information you've provided to the community is too much for somebody that has a legitimate treasure hunt. No legitimate treasure hunt creator would have done as many public appearances, said as many things, got involved in as many activities as you have, and provided duplicitous information over time. In other words, you said one thing one day, and then the next day, when you're questioned on it, you say it. You didn't mean it the way you said it, or you misinterpreted it. And I'm just saying, I feel sorry for those people that spent money looking in Texas, in the county that you eliminated. That's all I'm going to say. Lost time, lost effort. Amy Gwynn's here. Justin has a replica. The real chest is still at 1021 Old Santa Fe Trail, according to the Whistling Bunghole. Well, how would you know that? You can see it on the real estate websites, I guess. You'll have to. I've watched a number of those videos of them showing the 1021 Old Santa Fe Trail location. None of them I've actually seen the treasure in the video. You'll have to point me to the one in which it's in the video. Trusted said Justin got the real chest. I varied it by seeing the inside cover. It's the chest from the Thrill of the Chase book. Well, I went to Texas to the auction. And there was a chest sitting there, but they did not allow you to take it out and look at it. And it was in the cabinet. It was in the cabinet with a lot of the other goodies that you couldn't actually touch. You could touch the coins if you wanted. They would take them out and show them to you. But I guess what I'm saying is that I have no idea what chest Justin Posey has. I'm kind of to the point where the value in all of this is the cachet is gone. You know what I'm saying? The cachet of it is gone. There's not that many people as interested in it as there was when people were looking at it, and it's frankly been tainted by the ending that we had. And so, how are you ever going to prove provenance? There's another chest that looks like the one that Forrest Fenn had that's in the Detroit Museum, for example. As more and more examples of people having chests, are they real? Are they not real? I don't know. Did anyone else notice that Forrest Fenn's den was not shown in that tour video? Yeah, I don't think it was shown. MJ's here. Oh, Trusted Living didn't watch a video tour in order to know that the treasure chest is still somewhere. MJ says, what's going on tonight? Oh, we're just having a new beer. The new 99-cent beer. Well, basically, I've just been talking about these treasure hunts and whether I think they're real or not. How some treasure hunt creators have been overly active. I think Justin Posey's been a little bit too overly active as well. We had one YouTuber come out this week and say, is Justin Posey trying to get his treasure hunt over with based upon what he said out at the Seeker Summit and eliminating states and then saying that it's within 50 miles of where he searched? So I don't know. Are they trying to shorten the length of the after treasure hunts? I don't know. I suppose they could be. I started out by giving you the full update here of what's been going on since MJ asked. And then I basically started out with the fact that I think a Benetti's chest number 72 is now going to be part of a prize package that you can win by solving a poem that's going to be put together by Ben at the next Ben Berea, which I think is the real. If you want to take the real breaking news of last week, it's the opportunity to get a Venetti's replica chest by solving a poem at a searcher meetup get together. I think that's the key. That's the key information. Whatever may happen won't likely be public. I just want to hear what Forrest's plan is. Yeah, I don't think he had a plan. I was wondering, since Shiloh at an earlier date said it was locked and no one could enter it, I wondered if that still applied. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you can't go into that room. Uh, Maybe that's the word that's key. Justin got a replica of everything and still can't find the waters. Trusted Living thinks that Justin did not get replicas. Well, I guess we could go over to Lee's Summit and ask his mommy if she's ever seen Justin Posey with his treasure. I guess we could. Do you want me to drive over there? It's only a 3.5 hour drive. I could go over there and ask her. Hey, did your son? Well, I guess your stepson. Hey, did your stepson get the treasure chest? Louie asks, what happened to the flies and $1 million Ben was going to hide? Well, apparently, I remember. See, I remember when Ben made the claim that he was going to have $1 million treasure hunt. I remember him making that statement, and then X Marks the Spot came out, and I guess stole his thunder. And again, excrement marks the spot. There was not really a treasure hunt there. So, yeah, and the flies. Supposedly, somebody found his impossible poem flies, but never got back to him and let him know who they were. Yeah, that's a treasure hunt that never got solved as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody. I went back and looked for them, and they weren't there. Yeah. Did you look in the same spot you didn't put them? You know, the fake treasures have the number of fake treasures out there right now is probably the greatest it's ever been in the history of treasure hunting. You know, are any of them real? I go back to the people that think Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt was a hoax or could be a hoax, and it could be a hoax. It could have been a hoax. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Forrest Fenn had the money. He could do it. Forrest Fenn had the mental acumen. In other words, he's the kind of guy that would do something like this. Like, put a treasure out there. Write a book. See if people can be smarter than him. In other words, intellectually, he was capable. Financially, he was capable. And he was the kind of son of a bitch that liked to keep people dangling on the hook at the end of a string. That kind of thing. And so if there's anybody that had the makeup of a mentally, acumen-wise, if there's anybody that would have put a treasure out there and could have put a treasure out there, I got over that hurdle in about 6 months. All I had to do was go to a few places. You go to the Panhandle Plains Museum. Artwork donated by Peggy and Forrest Fenn. You go to the Center of the West. You have an Absaroki hut, donation of Peggy and Forrest Fenn. You go to the art gallery in the Center for the West. Artwork and stuff of Forrest Fenn. You go to the oh, whatever it's called, the something plains exhibit of all the knives and all the Indian bonnets and moccasins and stuff. Forrest and Peggy Fenn. The man gave stuff away. The man donated stuff. The man had a legacy of providing stuff to museums. He's done it. He could do it. Now, you compare that to a Chad Bird. Oh, I donated posters to a Seeker Summit. Oh, I'm gonna pay the first so many people's entry fees into a bar for Searcher Meetup. That's small philanthropy compared to what Forrest Fenn was on record as to have given. Justin Posey, show me one thing. Show me one thing other than the level 5 $10,000 treasure prize that you gave out as part of Seeker Summit. Show me one other thing that you have donated to anybody in this world. John Collins Black. Show me one thing, one cause, one philanthropic event, and I've drank too much, that you have done to show that you are the kind of person that has the mettle to have put together antiquities to give away. Chad Bird. Oh, I already covered Chad. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if anybody had a treasure hunt that had a reputation that you could investigate and show that it could potentially be real, it's the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. Now, did he actually do it? Did he actually have a treasure hunt? Still could have been a hoax. Still could have been a hoax. But all the people and treasure hunts out there that I had came across, this was the only person who could fund it, the only person who had the intellectual capacity to want to do it, the only person that had the nuts to say, are you fucking smarter than me? Can you come figure me out? Can you figure out what I'm saying in my poem? Can you figure out what I'm talking about in my book? He's the only guy that I've came across that could do that with the size of the treasure. Now, did Byron Priest write a book called The Secret? Yes, he did. Could he afford $20,000 worth of stones to put in 10 different locations across the country? Probably. But if you actually look at Byron Price's financial statements from the time in which he was the chief head of Byron Priest Publishing, he was up to his neck in debt and obligation to other people that assisted in financially supporting his business. He was drawing a pretty large salary at the end. But did he put out anything of real value? No. And so I guess what I'm saying is that I still defend Forrest Fenn's potential legitimacy as a treasure hunt, and as not being a hoax, based upon the factors I've just mentioned before. Whereas I can't say that for any of these new treasure hunts out there. You know, some of them are smaller, like X Marks the Spot. Did the Candyman have legitimate treasure hunts? Probably. Was his prizes small enough that they could be funded? Yes. Did in the end he give away a candy factory? No. He never gave away a candy factory. No. They didn't give away a candy factory. They come to some settlement. But what I'm getting at is that, most of these others struggle because of the legitimacy factor. What's going on? Trust of Living says Justin showed pictures he had of him with the chest after the auction, and the inside lid liner had the same staining along with the bottom edge. Okay, great. So Justin's been in the has had in his possession and has photographs with the treasure chest. That's not proof of ownership. That's proof of photograph. You know, I can show you a picture of me with my last crap in the toilet. Doesn't mean I want to own that piece of shit. It just is a picture of me with some shit. I'm just saying. And my phone's ringing right now. Is that Shiloh calling me? Telling me he's going to finally give me the treasure. MJ wants to know what's going on with the John Collins Black treasure hunt. Well, he's unlike these other people who wants to go on every show. We did have an appearance of him, and he did put out some information and answer some questions. So there are some videos out there of him answering some follow-up questions. You just said nothing's been found. As far as I know, nothing's been found in the JCB treasure hunt. Nothing's been found in the Posey hunt, as far as I know. Ian's in the house. Hey, Ian, how's it going? Louis Bell actually bought the JC book, but has not looked at it. Okay, so I just spent my few minutes defending Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt and its legitimacy. Uh, so the question then becomes, well, what the fuck went wrong with it? If it was a legitimate treasure hunt, why didn't we have Jack the Fake Finder, Puerto Rico, and all this BS? Don't know. Wish I knew. I think that's what we all are looking for, is that closure that would come with having answers to those questions. Probably never get those answers. Is he going to be the Frank Dobie of our time? Is he going to be the Frank Dobie of our time? I don't know. Could be. Could be just another chronicler of history of past treasures and mines that people look for that never were found. But trusted is clarifying. I didn't say Justin owns the chest. Personally, I think he's just another middleman. Yeah, well, you can go back and you can. I put all my shows on private, but in the earliest period of time in which I was doing, should I go see who's calling me? I hope my mom's not having an emergency or something. Rarely do people try to call me twice. All right, let me go see what's going on with the phone. You guys can get caught up there. Okay. Yeah, that was Shiloh. He was calling to tell me that indeed we are going to have fun and answers. Yeah. So sorry about that interruption. It was Shiloh confirming that there were going to be fun and answers. All right. My bedroom's a mess. I never do. I never do anything to make my bed. It's sad. It's sad but true. Uh, or it could just be part of the shtick. You know. You know. Where is the missing bed sheet? Right? Am I being pillowed down and sent it in? Am I pillowed down and sent it in? Right? Uh, there's the pictures of all the different. Well, never mind. Uh, so Jack's retired from playing hot potato. Yeah, good old Potato Mountain. I want to go back there sometime. I'm gonna look in the hills. I might find a potato. Mm. You know, the hills are alive with the sound of music. Well, for those who know about my May 16th and 17th travel plans, I'm going to give you the update. It's very, very, very expensive to stay in a hotel in Raton. It's really expensive. I did not know that these hotel rooms were near as expensive as they are anymore. It must be because they're having a special event. But I was able to get my room booked for $70, tax included. So I'll be shelling out the big $70 to stay in a luxury suite at a two-star hotel in Raton right after I get done going out uh, to the place where they found all the bison. Anyway, okay. So that means I'll probably sleep until 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I don't know what time K-Bob's opens, but I haven't came up with any meeting room or anything to hold an event for a bunch of people. But I will be in Raton on the was the 17th, the Sunday after in May. And I don't know if I'm willing to make the commitment to drive all the way up to Colorado Springs. Maybe we could meet at the Spanish Peaks. Maybe we could find the Spanish teacher uh, or something like that. Maybe we could just meet at Rocky Ford. Maybe there's surely one story that Forrest Fenn talked about a Ford and having the axle come out from under it. Miss Ford was the teacher. Maybe we should meet in Rocky Ford. We get some cantaloupe and watermelon. It's not season for that. The roadside stands don't quite open up in May. And getting at a K-Bob steak and salad bar. Yes, I would be willing to stay in Raton until that time so I can go to K-Bob's and have steak and salad. And a baked potato. I always have baked potatoes. Potato soup. There's nothing like the traditional steak, baked potato with sour cream and butter, and a nice salad bar. I mean, that's like the all-American meal there, right? But anyway, there are other hotel choices that are a little bit more expensive that are nicer. I think the Microtel there is only a few years old. There's a couple of hotels that are fairly new. Uh, I think the one that I've stayed in before has actually been torn down, or it's a travel inn. One time I stayed in a hotel in Raton, and they gave me the north facing wall, and the wind was blowing and howling. It was in March, by the way. It wasn't even the middle of winter. and the nighttime temperature was like 10 below. And the night I got into town, there was a bear. A bear had been spotted on the main street of Raton, and the Denny's waitress walked over to my table and said, "Did you see the bear?" And I go, "No, we didn't." I was there with my nephews, and anyway, they said, "Did you see the bear?" "No, we didn't see the bear." "Well, it was walking right down Main Street here just a couple of hours ago." "Well, no, we didn't see the bear." Anyway, uh, Trusted Living is saying that we can also have soup with that salad bar. Yes. Yeah. Sounds like fun, fun, fun. And after that, we can go over to the town square, and we could go look at the Simpsons Rest. Every time you go to Raton, you got to pay your respects to the Simpsons Rest, where this guy is buried upright, I think. Oh no, there wouldn't be somebody by the name of Simpson that's buried upright. No, surely not. He survived the Indian raid. Or did he? I think his name was George. uh, I'm not sure what else. You know what? This beer tastes pretty good when it's really cold. But once it gets to room temperature, it goes backwards in a hurry. I'm just saying. If there's a beer that goes backwards in a hurry, it's this one. Mm. Yeah, I forget how far it actually is from there to Colorado Springs, but uh, that might be more of a drive than I'd want to make. Because then I'd have to go back through Rocky Ford. It takes forever to drive that. Maybe we could just see if Bill wanted to host us out at the out at his RV ranch. Maybe we should see if Bill Gorman's in the room. Maybe we could just all meet up out at the Gorman Ranch. Bring our bring our own fun. There's a cool house 45 minutes from Raton with 26 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. It's 20,000 square foot floor plan. Is that the Casa de Gavilon? Or is it the Brown Ranch that Bill Gorman keeps talking about? Or is it the penitentiary over by Springer? Well, that would be more than that'd be more than 45 minutes. Is it the Colorado State Pen? Is it the Colorado State Penitentiary? Uh, there's signs everywhere that says "Don't pick up hitchhikers," and you start scratching your head. Why do they have signs on the highway to tell you to not pick up hitchhikers? 3 miles down the road, there says "State Penitentiary" and an arrow. Oh, I see. Now I understand why you shouldn't pick up hitchhikers. You'd think if they were wearing an orange jumpsuit, I wasn't going to pick them up anyway. Oh, nope. It's the hunting lodge that was once a private school. Well, that's kind of like the Brush Creek Ranch up in the Pecos. Okay, this is my buddy Keith. Okay, this guy keeps calling. I used to play tennis with this guy. We lived in the same apartment complex, and we went out to the bar a few times. Anyway, he keeps calling me. He was going to come to town. I'm going to have to call him back. Maybe he decided to come to town this week. He was supposed to be here last weekend. Maybe he's coming this weekend. I don't know. But I'll have to see what he's called me 3 times now. A hunting lodge that was once a private school. Well, we could have some fun. I could call him back right now and tell him I'm doing a live show on YouTube, and see what he has to say. I got my first packet for the Planning and Zoning Board that I'm a member of, and we got one item on the agenda. Well, we have two items. One is the discussion about data centers and battery storage facilities and adding language to the municipal or to the county code about those items. And then we have an applicant who wants to subdivide a property so they can build a home, and election of officers. And yeah, it's going to be a real treat. Can't wait for that. My first meeting, the 28th of April. And I'll be 60. We're counting down the days to the 60th birthday. It's coming up fast. It's 1 week from today. And 1 day. Anyway. So that's pretty much the update for tonight. I've got to come up with another 4 minutes of content in order to officially get a payday from Chase Inc. Are there any questions in the room? Any suggestions for things to do in Raton? Or Raton? Or oh, by the way, you do know that Raton is a small rat. It could possibly be no place for the meat. Or not. Raton. A small rat. No place for the meat. I can turn anything into a solve. Here is the 375 Amber. Hey, Trusted, what are you talking about when you mention K-Bob's? We're all going to K-Bob's on Sunday, the 17th of May. They raise their own cattle. Is it Wagyu? Hey, 375 Amber, it's going great. In case you missed it, Benbury 2026. You will have an opportunity to win chest number 72. Replica chest of the Forrest Fenn. All you have to do is solve the puzzle. MJ saying this was another great show. Your expectations are so low, even I can meet them. It's just a joy and a pleasure to do these shows, to be on, talk to people who have the same experience with the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt, looking for the same answers and have the same questions. And yeah, we never come up with any great answers. But I haven't checked to see if there's any spots available in the morning session out at the Folsom Man site. I showed that last week. If you are interested in that, you can still get in on the morning session. But there is one other thing that you can do out in that area. If you've never looked at a volcano, if you've never looked at an extinct volcano, I don't know if Capulin is open on Sunday or Saturday even, but you can drive up to an extinct volcano and then do a walking tour down into the hole. And if you do this, I suggest you carpool. I was by myself, and it was the same price if I wanted to drive up there and look at the hole, the fire hole, as if a whole carload of people were going to go look at the fire hole. And I told the lady there who said it was going to cost me like $25 just for myself. And I said, well, if I was 5 people, it'd be $5 a head. She looked at me like I was a Democrat in a Republican state. Actually, she looked like I was a Republican in a Democrat state. And I said, well, I guess I won't go for the tour. But I'll buy a $40 hat just to show that I was here in good Republican form. Like I said, hold on to your hat. I think that hat's right there. It's over there somewhere. Anyway, there's the hat, my Capulan hat. And so I paid $40 for a $5 hat instead of going on a $25 tour of the hole. Look quickly down your quest to Seuss. I've been hired to. Oh, never mind. In case you haven't figured it out, I've been hired to give you ideas that might or may not be true. I get a script every week. You realize I do get a script, right? I get a script every week. And just like Ben gets a script every week, this week his script said, see how long you can take to open up a boxed up treasure box. See if you can make that into a 2-hour show. If you can't, well, just cut it off when your wife refuses to bring you another beer. That's when you have to end the show. Every time I watch Ben and Ashley interact with each other, one of these days, I swear to God, Ben's going to say, I swear to God, I'm just waiting for the moment where Ben's going to say, Edith, could you bring me another beer? And I'm just waiting for that day where Sammy Davis Jr. comes in and kisses Ben on the cheek or the lips or whatever. It's all in the family. It's all in the family. Well, sometimes you have to get distant family involved, but it's all in the family. Okay, maybe I went too far. Did I go too far with that? I am on my third beer. Hey, there's the nomadic madman and Jeff. Yeah, happy future birthday. Oh, yeah, that's an omen. What's on your bookshelf now? Well, I have the Capulan hat. I have the Omega handlebar. I told you about my bear trap before, right? You've heard about that. I don't think there's anything new. It's all the same. It's all the same stuff. I also smashed the like button. Well, I'm sorry for that. Thanks for smashing that. Toby Eunice says that, YouTube likes it when people like you. It helps their telemetrics. Okay. So I have nothing new there. Somebody deleted Luli's comment. Yes, I have the Omega handlebar. Well, here's a fun fact. So George McJunkin discovered the wild horse arroyo bison back in 1908. Forrest Fenn creates the thrill of the chase in 2008. 100th anniversary of. Okay. I just make stuff up. It's getting late. I'm starting to make stuff up. No, actually, it's true. It's 1908. I'm going to stop deleting Lulu Bell's comments. Honestly, I haven't deleted anybody's comments. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm not deleting anybody's comments. You can see nobody's blue. I don't have any moderators on here. I don't think Whistling Bunghole is a moderator. I might have had the Bunghole or Husker Du or somebody as a moderator at one time. I don't think that I still have Hooli as a moderator. I had her moderating for a while. I don't even know who these people are. I'm going to delete this. Yeah, I'm going to delete this show too, I think. For sure. Well, anyway, I think I've covered the highlights of the night. Thanks for the late arrivers. Good to see all you. Uh, I remember when you were younger than me. Hold on. Hey, how can that be? I think we're aging at the same rate. I did remember. I did realize a year or so ago that I had been alive longer on the planet Earth without my father than I had been with my father. And that's what happens when you're like 29 years old and your father passes away and he's only 64. Uh, Zozo's going to put some brats on the grill tomorrow. Yeah, I had some brats. I had some brats last week. I'm supposed to be sage, according to Zozo. I need to be sage. Is that your opinion? So we can be sage in opinion. Yep, good old brats on the grill. Oh yeah, yeah. Don't give up on those brats yet. They still might come around. If you grill the brats long enough, they might tell you the truth. Just keep grilling those brats. They'll tell you the truth. There's this long joke I could tell you, but the punchline is so there was this guy by the name of Mel Famey. Jeff, have you ever heard of the legend of Mel Famey? Surely you've heard of the legend of Mel Famey. Well, anyway, Mel Famey was this famous baseball player in the city of Milwaukee. And Mel Famey had one problem. He was the greatest baseball player except when he was exposed to beer. Oh, there's another beer story about Milwaukee as well that Tim Russert used to tell. Anyway, it was dollar beer night. No, it was 10-cent beer night, and I had $2. Do the math. But that's a whole different Tim Russert story. But anyway, there's this famous pitcher by the name of Mel Famey. And he had a problem. He drank too much beer. And Mel Famey and the Brewers had made it to the World Series. And unfortunately, he's like Babe Ruth. He couldn't stay out of the bars, right? So it's the seventh game of the World Series. Mel Famey's the guy on the mound. And he gets up there in the first inning. He had had a humdinger of a night before. Went out of the town. Had a great time. And he went up there and he walked the first batter. He just could not get a pitch over the plate. And before he knew it, Mel Famey had the first four players he walked them all. And from from that time forward, um, Milwaukee became known as the city that made old Mel Famey walkus. He had drank the beer that made old Mel Famey walkus. And the other team won the World Series. Okay, I'm sorry. Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated. I wish I could have done that joke better. Anyway, there's a joke about it's the beer that made old Mel Famey walkus. The and to this day, this will be known as the beer that made Old Belfast Milwaukee. I don't even know what the name of the beer is that made old Milwaukee famous. For those who have never drank it, for those who have never drank an old Milwaukee beer, you have better taste than me. Does anybody remember Milwaukee's Best? It wasn't even as good a beer as um, Wiedemann's. So when you're a college student, you know all the cheap beers. You got Wiedemann's Big Mouth. You've got Milwaukee's Best. You got Mad Dog 2020. I mean, these are your go-tos at the dollar bin at the liquor store. Oh, and then there's some old rot gut kinds of wine as well. Oh, we have not had a tornado in Kansas today. There was one in Ottawa a few days ago. I drove down to Ottawa yesterday and picked up a skid steer brush mower, and I didn't even see any damage. Trusted Living didn't mind drinking the old Milwaukee Best Light. Yeah, we used to have some of that in college. Yep, that was you get a 12 pack for like five. You get like a 12 pack for like $3.99, $4 for a 12 pack of beer. It was live on YouTube live today. Well, I don't know. They've been having some storms again in southeast Kansas, but I didn't know that there's any spin ups. Zozo's adding the Schmozel Hostin Pepper Incorporated. Check with the old moderators cause two posts disappeared. I don't think I have anybody moderating this channel, honestly. Well, folks, that's it. In the words of Porky Pig, that's all, folks. That was one of my better imitations of Porky Pig right there. Oh, Muscatel. All right, Zozo, everybody. I hope you have a good Saturday night. Or is this Friday? Is this Friday? Hope you have a good weekend. If you want it, let me know if you're going to go out out to Folsom. Let me know if you're going to be there. If I get some people to say they're going to be there, I might actually. If I get some people that say they're going to go out to the Raton area and go to that thing, let me know. I'll see if I can get an event room or something planned. Trusted Living thinks that I made $10 from Chase Inc. tonight. Wow, you would be overestimating my payday. Yeah. Every time I go live, I feel like I'm costing myself $50,000. Justin Posey, who has the chest and he's the middleman, has decided to keep the money for himself. The ultimate betrayal in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt. The people that Forrest Fenn trusted with the prize to give it to the finder, real solver, those people decided to keep the prize for themselves. Screw this NDA. I'm going to keep the money. What are you going to do? Tell people that So what are you going to do? Tell people that I was hired to cover up a treasure hunt and that I kept the money instead of giving it to the true solver? You're going to actually say that? I think I'm going to keep the money. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, this guy rode that. This guy rode to town for the weekend on Friday, stayed for 2 days, and left again on Friday. How is this possible? Sparkplug's already got the answer. The horse's name was Friday. Oh, that's an old joke. Sorry, I couldn't tell the old. There's another joke about the Tiz bottle. Do you want to hear the long joke about the Tiz bottle? I also have a story about the guy that left his harp in Sam Clam's disco. I can tell the story about Sam Clam's disco and the guy that left his harp there. Of course, the punchline is going to be, and from then on, this guy was known as the man who left his harp in Sam Clam's disco. I left my heart in San Francisco. And some DNA. Okay, I really got to go. So anyway, thanks for joining in. Hope to see you in May. Um, Big news, the biggest news of the week in the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt is that K-Pro charges $90 for you to come to an event in Las Vegas and doesn't give away anything. Ben Napple, Treasure Warriors, doesn't charge you anything to go to Benbury, and you have a chance to win a Forrest Fenn tribute chest. Trusted Living is breaking out some new information. Forrest's Order of the Arrow name is Takeen Shinkashu. And my name is Red, and I was in the Shawshank prison. And then I went to Texas, and then I ended up in Zihuatanejo. Oh, this is part of the Delaware Indian language. Yeah, well, I heard that Forrest Fenn was a mountain man too. So, wonder what his mountain man name was. All right, Ian, thank you. Sparkplug, thank you. MJ, Trusted, everybody else that's been here. Jeff, Zozo, Hoosker, Bluey. That's the only ones I can see. Everybody else that tuned in, good to see you. Have a good night. I'm going to try to finish the rest of this rock gut beer. Ooh, the Order of the Arrow uses Delaware Indian language to keep secrets. Good night, Irene. Vance. Oh, tell us more. Tell me more, tell me more. Did you get very far? I think that's a line from a musical. Grease. All right, Ian, I didn't watch your show today. Maybe I'll watch that here after I log off. Dave, I don't think you could make it in the outside. I don't think you could make it in the outside. I'm trying to figure out. That was Brooks. I think Brooks is the one that didn't think he could make it on the outside. Or was that Red? Well, in the end, Brooks obviously couldn't make it on the outside. And then Red ended up staying in the same halfway house as Brooks. And then carved his name, so was Red. under where Brooks was here, at that halfway house. Um, but there is the Chad Bird line in the movie Shawshank Redemption. Uh, you know, some birds just can't be confined. Their feathers are too bright. No, some birds are not meant to be caged because their feathers are too bright. Uh, I recently was diagnosed with tardive dyskinesia, uh, and if I start taking this pill, never mind. I can't even pronounce the word. But of all the actors in the world, you do have to give some credit, to Red, who played a lot of different characters throughout his life and is still doing movies. Okay, we have one last comment from Trust the Living. There was an order of the Arrow Lodge near Temple, Texas, when Forrest was 9 years old. The only year he didn't go to Yellowstone as a child. So where did he go for that summer? The Phantom knows. Well, he was probably chasing chickens. He's probably out there chasing chickens. He was probably out there chasing chickens with the Simpsons in Fort Worth. Yeah, Trust the Living. Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that question. I did quite a bit of research on Forrest Fenn, but um, I don't have any of this information about the Arrow Lodge in Temple. Okay, folks, I'll be out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Where do I end the stream at? They moved the end stream button up here.